Alright.
Hello, this is the Insane Game Freak. I decided to do something interesting for this discussion. I could have just posted the discussion as normal, but I figured, hey, let's get a special guest on here and let's talk about how we feel about the war in Naruto so far. And my special guest today is the man with like 2 million names. But I'm just gonna call him Jerome. Jerome, introduce yourself. Ah.
Hello, everybody. I was once known as BlueGod19 and BlueGod20, but now the username is UltraBlackGod21. But for now, you can all call me Jerome because that's the name I go by. Thanks for having me today, Game Manic. Let's jump into the video then.
Yeah. So, as I said earlier, we're going to be talking about the war and our different opinions and thoughts on certain aspects. And the first aspect we're going to talk about is how Kishimoto is handling the fights. It seems like we only seen two fights so far in the war, and that's the whole Amoy, Didar Sasori fight, the ambush squad fight, pretty much, and then you got the Kakashi versus Zabuza slash Haku fight. And it seems
Right.
like he's taking about 2 chapters with each fight. How do you feel as far as is that enough chapters to get what he's trying to do across? Do you feel like he should have added more to the fight or what? Just what
All
are your
right.
thoughts on it?
All right. To start off, the very first official fight that we said we could have seen was the ambush squads on each side clashing against one another. So Kabuto set up the ambush squad on his side consisting of Sasori, Deidara, and two other ninjas that were summoned by Pure War Resurrection. And on the Shinobi Alliance side, we got Omoi, Kankuro, Sai, and Ninja. Now, consisting of how long the fight was, it was a very short fight filled with emotion and just basic tactics and thought out battles. I'd say that the fight was too short, but it was very good all the same because we finally got to see ambush squads just ambushing each other and fighting it out. Now, my honest opinion on this is that the Akatsuki members are already dead. So to see them using the same techniques over and over again would technically kill the length of time. Key members were already dead, and Kishimoto did not want to start another lengthy fight with Sasori and Deidara. So what I think he was doing was, using the Akatsuki members one last time, but keeping the fight short for the sake of how far the manga must go. Because we've seen Sasori and Deidara in action already, and we're only seeing ambush squads fight each other, but apart from that, I say I enjoyed that fight very well because, we saw where Sai really changed in emotion during that fight. We saw where Omoy got over his worrisome ways, but Sai was awesome because it's like he summoned two titans with Ninja Scroll, and then he punched both of them down. And how Kankuro, Omoy, and Sai work all together to defeat Sasori and Deidara. It was awesome. It may have been short, but I loved it. And Sai, I think Sai's role is completely pertaining to emotion now because he got to see his brother one last time, and the Imperial World Resurrection was faulty on Kabuto's part. He did it on purpose because he didn't have enough power yet. But I love that fight very much.
Okay. Um, I mean, my opinion as far as the fights are concerned is that first fight, I felt I'm glad you brought up the whole point about how they've used the same techniques before, because that was actually something I really wasn't even thinking about. So that made me think for a minute because that explains why the fight's so short because they can't do anything else. I
Yeah.
mean, the best thing Dodara has is to blow himself off, and the best thing fucking Sasori has is to throw 100 puppets. No, no, it would. No, I think it was like 1,000 or something. He has like a whole mess of puppets, and I don't even know. I don't know. He should still be able to summon them, but still, we've seen the movies before, so it wasn't like anything shocking. The only thing that kind of made me mad is that the character development for Amoy was kind of like weird because we had not had anything to do with that character beforehand. So I'm like, it's like Amoy, he stopped being worrisome. I'm like, well, we haven't seen that much of Amoy, so it wasn't like I was like, oh, he's worrisome all the time. Like that development was okay, but it would have been better if they like Kishimoto had put him in the story, like if he was shown a little bit more. So I would have been like,
Yeah,
damn. And then the way he
like
set
if
up,
he like
go ahead.
maybe he was the one who defeated Sasori and Datara, then yeah, we could have understood that this is Omoi's final development and a great one at that. But unfortunately, it was just anticlimactic because Sai and Kankuro technically took it away from there, and that was that.
And what I thought was really, and what really ticked me off, and you can, if on the review of the chapter, I actually said this too. The way the chapter ended made it seem like Amoy was about to handle his business, because he's like, two brothers shouldn't have to fight each other, and it was like, I'm about to make sure, and the way he came at it, it was like, I'm about to make sure that we don't have any family issues right now. I'm not gonna let you just start some shit. Like, that's Cole bringing back his brother. I thought Amoy was about to go and handle some shit. Like, I thought he was about to go wreck shop. And then, like, next chapter, he does, like, maybe two things, or two tiny things of that. Because Conqueror literally just lays Sasori the fuck out. And then Sai's, like, epic face, and his epic face made
Yeah,
Dadara
just said
fall
try.
die.
That's it. And that's it.
Yeah, and I was
So
like, what the hell? Like, why would you, like, why is the, I'm like, what the fuck? You had Amoy, I thought Amoy was gonna handle business. What did Amoy do? Oh, Amoy just sat there. What the fuck, Kishimoto? No! You, you put him in the chapter. You made him look like a badass. You made him talk shit, and he didn't do anything. And I was like, you fucker. Like,
major problem on Kishi's part there because, you know, even though the fighting was going on each part, Omoy's development dropped right there, and Sai's development pretty much picked up from there on out, and Kankuro as well. But that was practically it for Omoy. It's like, you know, they leave the black people out of it or something like that. But let's not get racial in this video.
yeah, but beyond that. All right, so we got that fight. Pretty much the
Yeah,
version.
it was good. It was good. It was short, but it was good. Yeah.
It was short, sweet to the point. Didn't have was a decent fight. It was a pretty
Yeah.
good fight. Got character development for three characters, even though one of those characters it didn't really feel, you didn't really connect to it as much, but it was okay. And then you had the second fight with Kakashi, Zabuza, and Haku, which I guess at this point, can we say we can say that portion of the fight's done, but you can't say like that like their squads are for done fighting, because you still got the other seven swordsmen. But that's just talk about the Kakashi versus Zabuza versus Haku fight. Like,
All right.
thoughts on that?
All right. All right. My thoughts on that fight now was that the fight. All right. It pretty much started out where two shinobi with bloodline limits were summoned, and they were pretty much killing every shinobi there. And Guy had to encourage somebody that, yo, your comrades are gonna die, so focus here. Kakashi and Kakashi's general of one squad or one battalion, and they got there in time now, and they see them. And Kakashi technically is taking charge right now. Now you have to remember that Kishimoto said in this year he's gonna make Kakashi get a big role. Now to discuss it, the seven ninja swordsmen were summoned right after he got there, and they all brought out their swords and everything, and the slaughter commenced. So now Kakashi's main focus was to fight Zabuza and Haku. Now to move on to discussing that fight, it was way too short. Um, I know that they fought before in the land of Waves Art, but in this war here, I love that fight because it was filled with emotion, but there are two things that killed it for me. And one was the flashbacks, and the other was how it just ended quickly. I mean, Kabuto pretty much had Orochimaru's DNA through Anko in him, and he made those soldiers mindless, slaughtering creeps. So you think that Zabuza would be more ruthless than that? You think that the fight would be a little lengthened? Like, you know, if 524 would focus on them still fighting, and then 525 would just show the end right there. It would be reasonable, but it's like it just started and just finished. And Haku was pretty much done with one right key, which is impossible. mean, Haku was supposed to get up again, but then he was just on the floor the whole time. And then Zabuza was pretty much finished off like that. I love the fight because it was filled with emotion, but it was pretty much short and it ended too quickly. So what do you think about it then?
Okay. Well, from the fight from the beginning, personally, I guess I should go back to the Seven Swordsmen because that's really where shit really, to me, really got started. That kind of, to me, the Swordsman showing up kind of seemed like a wasted of a chapter because really all it did was like, all right, put it this way, the chapter was like mainly about those swordsmen, and that kind of ticked me off because it's like we're gonna show you these 7 guys that we're not gonna develop and are only here to fight, and it's kind of like I hate seeing new characters that you're not gonna know anything about, and I'm like, what's the point of me caring for the characters? And that took away from it. But on to the actual fight with, Kakashi and Zabuza and Haku itself. To me, I don't mind it being short because personally, what really ticks me off about the fight itself is that you have Zabuza. He's supposed to be a part of the 7 swordsmen. He's supposed to be this fucking badass. Yet he gets taken out originally, like back in the first few episodes, he gets taken out so almost like ridiculously easy. The only reason why he even lives as long as he does is because Haku like takes a hit for him. Which,
Yeah,
so I'm like, his power level. That's the one thing he didn't really seem that strong. So I was like, how the hell, like this? And then so what I'm not even expecting the 7 swordsmen to be that strong. Like unless Zabuza was like the weakest, then I can kind of see it. But then at the same time, I'm like, why the fuck was he even in the 7 swordsmen if he's that weak? So I'm
yeah,
either expecting the rest of them to be either fairly weak or to be ridiculously strong. But on to the fight itself, I don't mind it was short because there was nothing else they could do. It's like with the Jadara thing. It's like uh, we've seen Zabuza fight. There wasn't
yeah,
anything else I needed to see. I like how they kind of morphed it back where when they fought the first time and shit. I did agree what you said about Haku when he fell. For resurrecting a repeating resurrecting zombie, he stayed on the ground way too fucking long. Like in that regard, I could see the fight getting extended because it just seemed like they kept. It's like he fell to the ground when he got hit. I mean when he got cut, and they left
yeah.
him on the ground for the rest of the fight for no reason.
It
Uh,
killed it.
yeah, and I was confused. I was like, what the hell? Like, why is he on the ground still? I thought that was kind of weird. The other thing I
Yeah,
thought was weird is that they wait until now to bring up that Zabuza's sword had an ability. We had seen the
which
sword countless times, but for whatever reason, that ability had to be waited until now to be brought up. I'm like,
I mean, kind of weird because Zabuza's sword was never chipped back then at all. I mean, every time that Zabuza swung at Kakashi in the Land of Waves arc, yeah, Kakashi got struck once with that sword, but the sword was already whole. But ever since the sword broke, now we're seeing this what the F moment in the manga where Suigetsu was explaining to Jugo, Zabuza's sword is really unique, because every time it's broken and you swing somebody at it and all the blood goes on there, the blood makes the sword go back to its original state, which is kind of awkward and
it's
it kind of kills
confusing
this
considering
sword
the fact that we've
because
known about this
it's not,
sword
it's not,
for.
it's not really that, because um, one of the soldiers, when they noticed that Haku and Zabuza were there attacking Sai and Gu, they were saying all these ninjas are bloodline limit ninjas, and Zabuza said, except for me. If he's not a bloodline ninja, how in the world does a sword have that much power? It's not like he's channeling his chakra in there so it can reform again. It makes no sense. Where did he pick up that ability from, and why was it introduced now?
Yeah, it's kind of random and it kind of kills the fight. It kind of seems pointless to even tell his sword about that. I mean, for honestly, it seemed like they only the reason why his sword has that ability, so it makes sense why he's part of the 7 swordsmen. Because probably each
Yeah,
sword has its unique ability, which it wouldn't make any sense if you had the seven swordsmen, and Zabuza had like just a bullshit sword. It'd be like, what the fuck? Like, why is this one of the seven swords? So
Yeah, but
I understand the purpose of the ability. I just wonder why we needed to wait this fucking long to know about it, considering the fact that it's been like I feel like Kishimoto decided this after the fact, and it kind of fucked him up because he never mentioned it in the manga originally, like originally when Zabuza introduced, and that's what really screws him over. But
yeah.
but getting back to the fight itself,
Okay.
it's I feel like it's short for the right reasons, except for maybe the certain parts. I do have a question because I
Yeah.
don't know what your take is. Okay, the latest chapter
Mhm.
that we've seen according to the date we're recording this, um,
Yeah.
fucking Kakashi hit Zabuza with his Raikiri the second time
Uh huh.
and destroys his arm and it goes through his chest.
It does.
Um, where you notice how there's like blood splattered and shit?
Yeah. I've noticed the blood on Haku's ice mirror, and I've
On
noticed that.
yeah, my question: where did the blood come from if these guys are like dead? Because from what I've seen, these guys don't bleed. These guys just turn into like some weird paper kind of material and reform.
Okay.
So I was
When
confused, like when he got hit, where did all that blood come from?
All right, the very first, all right, in chapter 523, it ended with the cliffhanger where Kakashi accidentally struck Haku because Haku jumped in the way, and Zabuza was gonna cut Kakashi. That's how 523 ended, and we were gonna see what was gonna happen in 524 next. When 524 came out, Zabuza successfully cut through Haku and cut Kakashi as well with a blade, and Kakashi was injured. But when Haku was sliced in half, it was nothing but, like look, even like paper all over the place. Like he was nothing but an empty shell, and he was on the floor right there, and he was just, putting this coming back together again. But then I noticed when Kakashi struck Zabuza and tore him apart there was Haku started crying blood, and then Zabuza started crying blood, and I'm wondering where in the world did all this blood come from?
Well,
My first thought was that I thought that when Kakashi struck them, that these mindless zombies are starting to reflect back in the past now and starting to feel emotions and were crying blood. But then I'm saying, didn't Kabuto complete this thing, but so they're not supposed to bleed? It was a really puzzling moment for me. But basically, what I thought was that, even though they were mindless zombies, Haku and Zabuza were still true ninjas, and Kakashi's earlier words were finally getting to them, and they were starting to cry like
um,
they were resisting it in a
the
sense when they were
weird
dying.
the weird thing I noticed though is that you gotta remember when he when he struck Zabuza and destroyed his arm and hit him in the head chest, the
Yeah.
fucking sword flew over and crashed right above Haku. So
Uh huh.
Haku wasn't bleeding. Haku had the blood off the sword because remember the sword did cut Kakashi, so there is
Yeah.
somewhat blood on the sword. Uh, I think the blood fell on Haku's face and it appeared to look like Haku was crying. So I understand where the blood on Haku's face came from. I don't
Where
know
did the
what the
blood from
blood.
crop stuff?
I don't remember where the fuck. I don't understand the blood that because Zabuza wasn't actually crying. What it was is that they struck each other in front of the ice mirror, and there was blood on the ice mirror.
Yeah.
And if you looked at the ice mirror, it looks like Zabuza's crying through the ice mirror. What I don't understand is where the blood from the ice mirror came from, because there was like blood splattering on the damn ice mirror, and I'm like, okay, like, okay, so you got the blood on the sword from Kakashi.
Yeah.
That explains why the blood was dripping out the sword and hit Haku in the face and made it look like Haku was crying. I'm like, all right, that makes sense.
Okay.
But why the fuck is there blood on the ice mirror?
That's the confusing part.
Because it's not like the sword was at the ice mirror, because it would have broke it for one, and two, the sword's over there by Haku. So I'm like, you just got random blood coming out of nowhere. I mean, the blood effect with him crying that looked cool, and it was sentimental and shit. But
Yeah.
the fact that you didn't know where the blood came from ruined that moment.
I think I don't know if it was a mistake on the artist's part, like they drew something and it wasn't supposed to be there. But the crying blood now, that part really confused me because I don't know if they were starting to feel emotion even though they were mindless zombies, but these things randomly appear. It kind
I
of
mean, I guess what we can do is we can file it under the anime code, which is what I call and what that really is to me when I say the anime code is that it's a comic, it's a cartoon. We don't need to question certain things.
yeah. In other words, you don't question logic in anime. Don't find logic.
Yeah, pretty much. So I'm gonna classify under that, but logically it doesn't make any sense. Logically it
Well,
doesn't make sense, but we're gonna classify under the anime law.
well. To wrap it up right about now, I can give my overall views on how the war is starting off so far.
All
I
right.
can I can say my final part I did like this. We got many more fights to come, and we don't know what Kishimoto's gonna do pertaining to how long the fights are gonna be or how short they're gonna be. But the fights that we've seen so far now, we can judge them overall by saying they were short. There was talking, which is annoying, but we still know a lot of things.
This is shonen. Where's my punching in the face? That's what
Yeah,
I
that's
came to
what I want
see.
to know. Many people they want to see the fighting and they want to see some war, but um, in a war you're not supposed to be seeing people talking. You're supposed to see them killing each other. But Kabuto, he summoned up warriors that are mindless zombies right about now, and you're practically bringing that purpose here. But let's move on to another fight. Zetsu,
Um. Okay, that's cool.
Zetsu's have been in a number of 100,000. And on Kiba and Neji's side, they were there. Now, I love this part of the war so far because when they were sprouted out from the Earth technique, you got people randomly attacking them and everything. You got Kiba and his sister doing Gatsuga and Gatenga. You got Neji and Hinata back to back doing Juken, Hakuteki show. You got Shino and his team doing the bug wall. And then you got Kaori, the black girl from the thing of the Cloud Village, and one of the samurais doing um, Sky Cutter and Fracture Cut. Yeah, those random attacks on the Zetsus were awesome, and I love that part of it. But then in this chapter here, we see where Neji's attacked back from behind by a Zetsu, and he uses a full body palm and then we see the talking from there on, and then the scene cuts again. I think that part of the war is going well so far. I don't think Kishimoto is going to make it short because everybody's going to be focusing their attention on annihilating all these Zetsus. But I love how he's doing that part so far because more Zetsus keep coming and more techniques keep hitting them. And the war is going fairly, I must say. I wanted to add that part in because the good guys are also being killed as well instead of being the bad guys alone. That's one thing I'm commending Kishimoto for so far. That the war is fair with the good guys being killed and the bad guys being killed. You can give your overall views on it right now.
Okay. Well, my as far as the fights are concerned, I feel like the war is going fairly decently. I will say the hype that was originally there is kind of chilled out.
Yeah,
I feel like if I think that the only real issue I'm having right now with the war is just him in these fights. Like, if he can make these fights a little longer, like I'm not saying make them 12 chapters long. I'm saying maybe give me like 3 chapters of a fight. I'll be
uh
straight. 'Cause
huh,
just enough so you can get like a full gist of a good solid fight.
uh huh,
The Zetsu thing I thought was nice just because that means that all the minor characters will get their licks in. So it's not like, oh, we got this main character here, this main side character here fighting. You got like Kakashi and Shino and shit. And I feel like he's doing a fairly good job of showing off other ninjas.
yeah,
Um, because you do get to see them. They are like require like the whole ambush squad. You saw I think it's the dude from the Shino clan who ends up dying. From
that's
Shino's
right.
clan ends up dying, and then you got the censor from Byakula from Neji's clan.
Yeah,
And then you got like then you got these random new guys like with Kakashi wrapping up freaking Zabazan Haku, the dude using the cloth binding technique. So I was
Maki,
like, and then
yeah,
he has like other members from Shikamaru's clan and Ino's clan. So I was like, cool. I feel like he's focusing on the Leaf Ninja a little bit too much because he's already. I mean, think about it. He's had multiple Byakugan users, multiple Shadow users. You got Shigemaru, you got his dad, then you got other members from his clan.
Yeah,
You got members from Ino's clan. I'm
yeah.
like, he's focusing a little bit too much on the Leaf Ninja, and he needs to throw some more other villages ninjas in there. Like, use some more of the Cloud ninjas. He's using
Like
a Moai.
Amoy, Samui, those ninjas.
Yeah, and maybe some ninjas from the villages that he hasn't addressed.
Yeah.
Like we don't know anything about. I feel
Yeah.
like he needs to throw in more of that. As far as the Zetsu thing is going, um, I think my main opinion on that is that I'm glad he has them in there because it allows like minor ninjas to get their casualties and their hits in. Like you got
Yeah.
minor ninjas dying and you got minor ninjas killing out the Zetsus and shit. Eh,
Now,
Go ahead.
if Kishimoto were to mix up the creativity a bit, like having like a major character that we know very well being killed for good, then I think that it would spice the story a bit. I know that many people wouldn't really like to see it, but the thing I want to see is a character that we know very well dying, but not a character that hasn't got enough screen time yet. Like, say for example, he were to practically take one of the Kunoichi I love so much and kill her off. Tenten, for example. Believe you me, if that happened in the manga release, I would get on a Naruto manga review and change the title to like Naruto Manga 525 Rant, and I would curse Kishimoto from here till thy kingdom come for a character that he hasn't even given screen time and then killing them off for good. That's what I don't want him to do. I want him to take a character that many people would want discarded already, and spice up the story a bit by having them killed. I'm
Yeah,
tired
but
of
I mean, we've already seen how Kishimoto is with death. He's he's kind of iffy depending on the situation. He'll kill certain characters, but he's not keen on killing them
yeah.
most of the time.
Uh huh.
So I feel like if he would kill somebody, he would kill like a random village character from like a different village, like he probably killed someone from like Village Hidden in the Clouds before he killed someone from the Leaf, which is the weird thing. Like he doesn't develop some certain characters, but that's going on to a whole different thing. I guess the final part that we could talk about, since we don't have all the war to talk about right now,
Yeah.
would be the ending of the latest chapter relating to Gara
Ah.
and
Ah.
his men and
Okay.
the Invisible Man.
Yeah, we all
Man
know how.
walking in the sand.
All right, my viewpoints on that right about now. I hope to see a very great fight come out of this because to touch this topic right about now, the last time we saw Gara actually go all out was the fight against Deidara earlier in part one, and then from there on out, Gara's Shikaku was extracted. And no, 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 my bad. The recent time Gara really went all out was against
Sasuke.
Sasuke. My
Yeah,
bad.
yeah.
Um,
I was like, wait a minute, didn't he help
yeah.
try to catch Sasuke during the whole Hokage summit thing?
No, I think Gara could have held off his own, but when Sasuke went, you know, crazy, like went
Well,
eight nuts.
he's been crazy for a while now. I mean,
Yeah, yeah.
he's been crazy since like,
He used Susanoo and tore off the building pillars in there, and Gara used the defense. But still, all he did basically was shoot one of collaboration techniques with his underlings and one of the Cloud Ninjas. But that was the last time Gara really went all out. But now he's a commander, the main commander for the whole Shinobi Alliance. Since he was the one that came up with the idea, he was made commander, and I think he's a general. Yeah, he's a general for the fourth battalion. And now he's going up against Mu, the second Tsuchikage, who seems
yeah,
to have jutsu of invisibility. That's gonna be a tough one on Gara's part, but my prediction for that is that Gara's pretty much gonna use sand and scatter it all over the place to detect where this guy is running around.
well,
Uh,
just remind me for a second, who is in that? Which Naruto characters are in his battalion that we know of? Because I don't. It's been a minute since I've checked. Because I like you know how you have like
Alright, in Gaara's battalion, the main ones that are heading it will be Choji, Shikamaru, and Tamari. Those
oh
three characters are leading the battalion for the
okay
4th Division there, and because
okay.
Gaara,
Well, go ahead.
because Gaara is the commander for the entire Shinobi Alliance, Tamari said in chapter 515 that it's up to Shikamaru to be the responsible one in his place. But those are the underlings for Gaara's unit right now.
Okay. Well, here's my thing. The end of the chapter shows him being sensed out and Gar standing there like they're here with his battalion.
Yeah.
Now, with the Tsuchikage, we didn't see the Zetsus behind him, so I'm assuming he's by himself.
Okay.
Now, if he's by himself, I'm kind of wondering how is he gonna end up fighting Gara when Gara has a fucking battalion like right behind. Like it's kind of like Gar would fight just out of sheer cockiness, and that'd be ridiculous. Because I'm
Okay.
like, why would Gara fight him specifically if this nigga got like this entire fucking battalion behind him? Like it
Well,
now, I
here's the
mean,
thing. Now, this
it's
guy was
Zetsu. Well, go
this
ahead.
guy's previous Tsuchikage, and it would be very funny if this one guy were to take out like half of Gaara's battalion right behind him. But no evidence can be given on my part if the Zetsus followed the previous Tsuchikage. But for me, I have yet to see. The only thing I'm hoping for is that will be lengthy and good fights. That's all I want to say.
Well, all I'm gonna say is this: hypothetically, if he didn't, if the Zetsus aren't with him, I'm not really expecting this to be a very. This is gonna be a very fucking one-sided fight. I
Yeah,
understand he's the Tsuchikage, but you got Shikamaru in there, you got Tamari in there, and you got Choji. I mean, Choji's not like, oh my god, we're about to fuck shit up because we have Choji on our team. But I
yeah,
mean, you got fucking Gar in there, so it's like, and plus the other 80,000 fucking ninjas. So I'm like, this is gonna be one sided. I don't give a fuck how strong you are. You cannot take out like an entire battalion, including the Kazekage. That's just a little.
I just
That'd
hope.
be overpowered. I can see him taking out maybe half because he is a Kage, but I
Yeah.
can't see him taking out the entire fucking thing. And if he did bring the Zetsus with him, then I could see him fighting Gar.
Okay.
And on that level, we don't know what ability he has, but the Tsuchikage, if I recall right, is that is that water element or is that wind element? Because I do not remember. I think that's water
You
element.
see, ninjas will just have basic jutsu. I don't think invisibility falls under a certain element.
Okay.
The only thing I can say right now is that I hope Kishimoto's not going to do this thing where Gaara is going to take on the previous Tsuchikage, who's called Mu, and everybody's just standing up there behind him and leaving it to Gaara. I don't want to really see that.
That would be ridiculous. Like I just
Yeah.
like why the fuck does the why it's like the president coming down and like beating the shit out of like one random uh fucking prisoner. That'd be ridiculous. Like I would be like, you have an entire government behind you.
Yeah.
Why are you doing this? And why is no one helping you? It
Well,
would be kind of and I hope they don't just stand there.
I hope so too. I hope
They fucking stand there and be like, you know what, Kishimo,
for
like I'm gonna just let you stand here and watch you fuck up your manga. That's what I'm gonna do. Cause you like that's just fucking ridiculous.
we don't
We
see
need to
we
have him. We need to have 8,000 people stand
yeah.
there and watch Guard get killed. And then if Guard dies, I'm gonna be like, you know what? I'm like, we have lost all hope for you, man. Like this
You're
war was turning out right straight, and then you got this nigga dying because you had with 80,000 people behind him looking at him dying. Like what the fuck? Like
you're going too far, man.
what did you do?
You're going way too far there.
I'm just saying.
No, I'm telling you right now. Gara could hold his own against Sasuke, but
Oh, listen,
he dies to an impure world
he's
resolution.
already
But
technically he's already died. I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
that was sad, man. That was
Technically, Gar is already dead.
sad.
Gar is a part of the impure resurrection jutsu. You just don't know it yet.
Yeah.
That's what happened.
Um,
Chio didn't bring him back. That was Kishimoto trolling.
I think Sigara died. If Sigara died, then the whole fandom of Naruto is gonna erupt in hatred and everything. They're gonna say, "All right, Sasuke couldn't die. Any other ninja that was famous couldn't die, like maybe Omoi, for example, or Sai. And then you go and kill the commander for the entire army, which is Gara. You're gonna have him killed. You know how many people would rant on that?
I can see. I can kind of see. I bet you I know. You know what would be interesting? If the Tsuchikage killed Tamari. No, but no. Hear me out. Hear me out. Listen.
All right, I'm listening. I'm listening.
Okay, Tamari's Gara's sister.
Yeah.
If he killed Tamari in front of Gara,
Mhm.
that's when shit would officially go down. He wouldn't even have to kill everybody in that battalion. If he killed Tamari, shit's going down, and you would finally get to see Gara like ridiculously pissed.
Okay. Getting serious right about now. Kishimoto says that in his 2010 interview, he said, "No, I am not going to be putting Shikamaru and Tamari in a relationship. That's justified because it's his manga. He can do whatever he wants." But seriously though, Tamari has been developed very well because she participated in the tuning exams in part one. She killed Tayuya in part one. She
Well, technically,
she
that was the weasel. Technically,
and she was seen in part two during Gara's abduction.
she was
Then
known of. She was a. It's like is Tamari there? Oh yeah, that's her.
yeah,
She's in the
yeah,
back.
yeah,
She's
she's
in the back.
guarding.
Let's cut back to Dadar. Oh
Yeah,
okay.
and then she aided Gara in the Kage summit. She also fought, so you can say that she was fairly developed. That was good enough. So yeah, if she were to be killed, Gara would just
Lose his
erupt
motherfucking mind
in
without him
hell.
going into Chicago mode, pretty much.
He would even need the Jinchuriki's power. He would need a Bijou's power for that. Man. He just kill the Tsuchikage right there and then with a random jutsu. I would love to see that scene. If Tamara were killed and Gara were to just go nuts, that would make my day. I'm telling you.
Because I don't think Tamari has a big enough fan base for a lot of people to be like, no, why'd you get Tamari? So it's not like
Yeah.
it's not like if you killed like fucking Lee or Neji, because
Well,
that's Lee and Neji. But if you killed Tamari, we're just gonna be like, all right, you killed Tamari, all right, it's cool. I mean, Gar fucked Tsuchikage up. We're all good. And then
because
you know,
it
you
could
know what
work that way.
you know what an interesting plot twist would be? And I
What?
know this is getting ridiculous. I'm gonna tell you right now, it's pretty fucking ridiculous. But I'm gonna
What?
say it anyway. If he were to kill Tamari, Gar were to fight him at crazy anger, full strength, and then Gar dies. Cause then it just be like, are you shitting me? This motherfucker wouldn't even. This motherfucker fought this dude at full anger, power, and he still couldn't beat him. On top
Okay.
of that, he dies. He'd be like, "Oh my God, Shikamaru, Choji, get him!" Be like, "Nah, fuck that."
Yo, this might have to be a part two video because I'm loving how this is going so far. But yeah, to wrap it up on my part here, it can work in that manner because Mu, the previous Tsuchikage, we see that his power is invisibility. So if Kishimoto were to get creative right now, my prediction would be that he would use his invisibility to appear behind Tamari and assassinate her right there. And yeah, fans are gonna hate it, but it would be fair to me. I would accept it. But then if Gara were to go in rage mode and just go on a roid rage against Chicago and then be killed, that would change my perspective of things completely. I mean, I'd see Tamari die and I said, "Oh my God, he actually did it." But then I see Gara die and I'm like, "What the hell just happened a while ago? He didn't just kill Gara, did he?"
It's like, nah.
And then I'd be raging like saying, "What? Why did he do that?"
It's
I don't
like
know.
You've already killed him in the ship, and then why would you kill him again?
Yeah, why would you kill him again? He was resurrected once, and now you kill him twice. Okay,
You know what would make me laugh though if you did, if you
but
killed him again, it'd be like, what the fuck did Chio die for then? Like, what did you kill Chio for?
oh no, she's not dead, man. She's alive in the war as well.
Oh God, oh my God, I just remembered that. Holy crap!
She's alive, man. She's seen everything.
Well, technically, she has seen everything, but I don't think that was her choice. That was more of like, I want to pass on to the next generation. And then she sees Gar dead on the ground. She's like, "Are you kidding me? What the fuck did I die for?"
Why did Naruto protect this nigga? What the hell, man?
Like I can see Chio looking at the Tsuchikage like, you motherfucker, you just made my death really fucking pointless.
Because a shinobi's life will determine how they die, and it will be all for a waste. I'm telling you.
Oh God, the only thing that kind of goes against that whole killing Tamari thing is really not the fandom, because I mean there's really no high quality fans for Tamari anyway. But what kills it is that the Tsuchikage would have to already have known that that's Gaara's sister. Like he, unless he randomly kills her. Like he's fighting the battalion and she just happens to be there. And he's like, well, another motherfucker to kill, and she kills him. I mean,
Yeah,
then he kills her, and then I can see that happen. But he can't intentionally go for her, like
that's
right
right.
out the bat, because he does not know that that's Gaara's sister. He doesn't even know of Gaara, so it's just gonna be like what the fuck was
Well, the
that?
fact
They
of the
shouldn't be
matter,
watching anyway. They should be
the fact of the
fighting.
matter, Kishimoto's focusing on the main characters that show themselves off in the manga. It would be pretty boring, to see plain ninja and guard battalion being annihilated by the people of Chicago. I mean, yeah, you just know that's the war going on, but when you put the characters like Choji, Shikamaru, and Tamari on the front lines now, then yeah, the guy would say, okay, so these guys are closest to Gaara. I'll just annihilate them because they seem to be very attached to him.
I kind of want to see Choji use a new jutsu, because I feel like we haven't seen him do. I want to see him go butterfly mode in Shippuden, just to see
Oh
what he
yeah, that would
looks,
be nice. That would be
just to see what he looks like.
that would be incredible, man. Because
Because
in part
I
one,
bet you $5 he looks like like every fangirl's ecstasy dream of Choji, pretty much.
well, they really liked him back in part one when he transformed,
It's like,
and
oh
beat that.
my god, he's so kitty. I mean, he's so skinny, he's so cute now. It's like, fangirl, stop. You.
All right, yeah, we'll have it, man. We'll have the comments soon. But I really wish we'd see it again because that was awesome.
I actually do want to see it again. Just, I bet you, if there's any time for Kishimoto to have him do it now. He's in a fucking war.
Well, the fact of the matter is, we have seen some really new and incredible jutsu coming out in the war. I mean, Ninja and Hinata back to back with Air Palm and
I didn't even know. I knew Neji knew air palm, but I never understood. I didn't know Hinata knew it. So that was a shock. That was a nice surprise. I want to
every,
see.
every time Hinata makes screen time again, it's like her training with Ninja pays off and she just uses a new technique all of a sudden.
Yeah, you know what's kind of you know what I kind of miss though.
But
I miss the days where Lee and Neji would fight, and Neji would beat Lee's ass, and Lee be like, "That didn't hurt," and be like,
yeah,
"I'm gonna kick your ass," because it seems like lately Lee hasn't done anything.
well,
The last important thing Lee did was get knocked out by Sakura, which doesn't make any fucking sense. And I'm like, what happened to Lee? Like, Lee Lee became like a fan favorite, and then no one, and then for whatever reason, Kishimoto was just like, you know what, we're just gonna fuck with him for like 20 to 30 chapters.
yeah,
Just fuck with him.
come on now. Guy beat Kisame in a one-on-one fight. Guy used Afternoon Tiger, and he got his screen time by fighting his rival for the very last time. But I haven't even seen Lee in some decent action ever since. I got to admit to you, man, this fight with Gar in part one made him the best character ever. But
And then after that, he broke his legs and arm.
and then everybody forgot about him because everybody else was just excelling in character. But I want to see Lee go all out in this war right about now. I want to see his inner gate and what he's capable of.
I want to see, I want to see Shino do something. Like, like we've seen Shino do
No,
some
she does done
bullshit.
enough with that bug wall, and I
I
know.
mean, yeah, we've seen him do something, but I want to see Shino like get hardcore with some shit. Like, I want him to go balls in and be like, I normally don't fight like this, but you have pushed me too far. And then release like this crazy ass bug related jutsu, maybe when he turns into like a fly. I don't know. So
Well,
instead, okay, maybe something just like cool. Like I want to see characters that we haven't seen seen them like hardcore fight yet. Hardcore fight, because we've seen Kiba hardcore fight. That shit wasn't impressive.
yeah, that's right. When he used that suit gun, someone decided to use the Tenten, that was nice. But persons like Tenten and Eno, for the love of God,
Dude, Ino, what the fuck can Ino do? Like, I figured,
the tease
why?
in part
This is
two.
what I understand. Isn't she trained with Tsunade too, right? With soccer,
It,
right?
but it seems to me as if Eno could not develop any further pertaining to superhuman strength.
But they
And
never have her fight, so I don't even know.
it was
Um,
so nice if she had it too, because then it would be balanced out, and we couldn't see Sakura.
You wanna know why they didn't give it to her? Cause she
What?
be a clone of Sakura.
Yo, everybody would rate her more than Sakura.
I thought they were rivals, and then like for whatever reason, just like migrated. It's like fuck Sasuke. And I was like, all right, that's.
Justified.
I was like, all right, that's kind of random.
Yeah.
It's like time skip. Up, you know, my transfer jutsu. Is that the only technique she knows? Like even in the
Damn.
games, they couldn't come up to give her something cool. They just had her throw fucking paper bombs for half her techniques. Like,
It's sad because in the fillers, Hinata knows only the rotation, the 64-pound guard. It's not a cannon move, so we're not going to see that. And in the fillers, Hinata knows mind destruction jutsu, but we're not going to see that either because that's also a filler move. So it seems like these characters or these Kunoichi are low rated. And if you notice, Sakura is still a heal bot. She's not using her super strength anymore. She's just healing all the way like a heal robot or something like that.
well, technically, that's where her main role was. Like,
Yeah, but
the
it's like,
strength is kind of just there as a defense, or if she has to fight, that's what the strength is for.
yeah,
And
people
with
will
I
use
don't know what the fuck happened. Like, I think she's the same way, but they just made her role so submissive, it's retarded. And now that I think about it, is he not the healer for Kiba and Shino's team? Because if she is,
No, Hinata can't move. He didn't treat Tsunade.
okay. So we just got two healers, but for whatever reason, Kiba's team doesn't get healers. It's just you got like two.
They probably got some medical ninja in there, but we
I
don't.
just realized you got like two offensive. You got two close range fighters. Not just
Yeah,
bad. No, you got one close range fighter, and you got two long range fighters.
yeah,
And I'm like, this is why Kiba's team sucks. There's no balance. The
that's
fuck?
right.
They should have got look, Kiba and Shino should not have been on the same team. One of them
True.
should have been. I would have got rid of Kiba and just gave them like a healer. I mean, he probably a gay guy, but I mean, still, you could. I mean, all right. We were getting completely off topic. But anyways, final thoughts on the war.
All right. My final thought is that when Kishimoto came up with the idea of the war, it was fantastic. Fourth Ninja World War involving like the rookies and every single ninja in the ninja world. That was great. And Madara and Kabuto are leading it. My final thoughts on it right now. I hope to see how Kabuto himself is gonna fight. I really hope that they make him fight Naruto because Kabuto said that Naruto was the one that made him go after another goal again, and that was to become more evil. So it's only natural for Naruto to test out his new QB mode on Kabuto and pretty much defeat him right there. But my final thoughts is that I love the war so far. I hope the fights are like a little longer, but not too long. I'm loving how Sasori and Data were defeated. Not really approving of how Haku and Zabuza were defeated so quickly. I love how the Zetsus contribute as soldiers on Madara's part, and I love how the fight is going on between them and other divisions. I also love how the good guys are being killed just by the bad guys. And the one thing that I really do love is that the war just develops with each character coming out into the limelight, and this will be a good chance for Kishimoto to develop everybody. Persons like Gara, or like maybe Tenten Random, or Shino, Rock Lee, Guy Sensei, and to finally finish what I'm going to say here, Kishimoto did say in his 2010 interview that, was 2011 one, sorry, that this was really the year that he was going to develop Team Taka, Sakura, and Kakashi. So I'm seeing the development of Kakashi right now because he's going to go roid rage on those swordsmen. So all that's left is Sakura, Team Taka, and Sasuke. But I'm loving how the war is going so far, and I'm enjoying it, and I hope to see many more when I'm doing my reviews.
Okay.
So you can give me
Okay. um, my final thoughts. Final thoughts. War is pretty cool right now. Um, after the hype has died down, I'm still enjoying it. So it's doing its job as far as being entertaining.
yeah,
I want the fights to be maybe one chapter more longer, maybe like 3 chapter long fights, so I can get a good feel for the fights, not be like, oh, started, oh, it's over. I mean, that's how the fights have been kind of lately, and it's not like horrible, but it's kind of disappointing, and I wish they were longer, but just one chapter longer would be straight with me. Um, I'm pissed about how Moy doesn't get his limelight, but other than
yeah,
that, other than that the ambush squad fights are pretty straight. Um, the Zabuza and Haku fight, it's straight. I don't understand why Haku was on the ground for so long and why there's blood coming out of nowhere and the randomness with the sword ability, but all
yeah,
in all, that's a decent fight. I like the Zetsus. They show the casualties for both sides, and it kind of evens out the playing field. I'm looking forward to the future fight with the Tsuchikage and possibly Gara.
oh yeah,
Um, all in all, the fight's pretty straight. I just hope they kind of use more other characters from different villages instead of just the leaf and the sand and the cloud, because there's like 2 other villages they're not fucking with. I don't know why. So I hope there's more
yeah,
use of those characters. I hope they shine on. I hope they put the limelight not only on the lesser characters but characters from other villages as well. And in yeah, that's about my main final thoughts. So,
okay.
what you about to say?
Yeah, I'm saying okay, okay.
And I guess to wrap the video up, I would suggest you guys leave your comments in the comment section below, telling us what you are liking or disliking about the war so far, any possible predictions, uh, just pretty much just give us your thoughts.
Yeah,
And depending on what happens, we'll see what happens. Maybe we'll make a follow up. Maybe we won't. Maybe tomorrow will die of AIDS. I don't know. we'll we'll just see what happens. But that is our video for today. I'm gonna use it.
indeed.
I'll let Jerome for whatever reason. Like this has been our video for today. I am the insane game freak,
And I am UltraBlackGod21.
aka the man of a million names.
Oh yes, sir.
You can never guess my name. He's worse than Rumpelstiltskin. It's ridiculous. Anyways, that's all from us. Life's a game, play to win, and we will catch you guys later. Peace.
Peace.